question about the reducing step at the end of this problem. So here's the answer the person got. And then the question, of course, is like, oh, about these 56s, because this looks so tempting to just knock those out. And likewise, can we do the same thing over here? And we really, really want to, but we can't. And so the reason we can't, and this is what I used to do as a student, is I would put some numbers in something and see if it made sense with numbers, and if it doesn't work with numbers, it's not good with algebra. And so if I wrote something a little simpler to look at over here, like 2 plus 3 over 2 plus 4, I look at that and go, ooh, no, I need to add that and make 5. I need to add these and make a 6. If I cancel those 2's, something that should be 5/6 sort of then becomes 3/4, and those aren't equivalent, so that didn't work. And so the deal is we cannot cancel even when it's super tempting. When we're adding or subtracting. That's it. We can only cancel when we're multiplying. So if we look at something down here where I had 2 times 3 instead of the plus, and then 2 times 4 instead of the plus, that would have been 6/8, which reduces right down to the 3/4 we should have had, right? So if I cancel those 2's out now, it's 3/4. If I multiply and reduce later, it's still 3/4. So we can always cancel when we're multiplying. We cannot cancel ever when we're adding or subtracting. So with this problem, we got to see if we can write it as a multiplication. And so what I did was I came down here and I factored it, and these both did have greatest common factors. So from the top I was able to pull an 8, and from the bottom I was able to pull a 7. Those are not the same. What is left over in the parentheses is not the same. And now that I have this written in factored form, that's where I can see if I'm allowed to cancel something, because that's the formal where you can do it. So my advice on knowing whether or not you can cancel: one, if you didn't just factor something, you probably shouldn't be canceling unless it's already in factored form and it's sitting there waiting to cancel. But basically it has to be written as multiplication. So if you didn't just factor, you probably shouldn't be canceling. And also the other thing that people do in this section is if there's any sort of canceling early in the problem, the canceling is always the last step in any of these rationals. It does not happen early in the problem. That's where all the fake canceling happens, is like right on that first or second step. So for all these canceling, factor cancels, the last step shouldn't show up early, and you should be factoring first. Hopefully that was a little helpful.